Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming.
Welcome back to our coverage of Indie Popcon 2018, and we're interviewing some devs today. And today I have Brett from Bowlcut Studios, and we're talking about Mage Quit. So let's hear the elevator pitch of Mage Quit.
Sure. I've given this many times. So Mage Quit is a top-down wizard brawler for up to 10 players.
Okay.
Ideally played as a local game. It also has online multiplayer. So you learn a new spell before each round, and then at the end of 9 rounds, the longest beard wins. You grow your beard by getting a kill.
Gotcha. So when it comes to the idea of Mage Quit to begin with, where did it formulate in your brain? Where did the longest beard wins come from? 10 players on there. There's a lot of things there that are pretty unique to this game.
Sure. So the core mechanic of the game is based on an old Warcraft 3 mod that I used to play a lot with my brothers called Warlock.
Okay.
And we sort of like built on that concept. We added more like different levels. We added more spells. And then we added the drafting mechanic, which kind of makes the game more fair for people who are losing.
I like that. It's almost Mario Kart-ish. Like if you're in first place, you're just getting bananas.
Yeah, negative feedback. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, I like that a lot. It was a lot of fun. So you were saying before that the multiplayer is kind of a huge part of this. You have up to 10 players, which is pretty insane for for a battle arena game.
Yes,
if you will.
It definitely works well for conventions because
everyone's having a good time
playing the same game. It tends to pull a crowd. And
it plays it well. There's not really I didn't notice any lag or drop or anything. It was like fully going at full speed.
How many did we have just now? 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah, it was a good time.
Once you get up to 10, it's like obviously the chaos is like exponential. Yeah. I think 6 is kind of like a sweet spot for the game.
Okay.
So also we have team modes as well. So if you wanted to play like a 3v3,
oh, that's cool.
Do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should have done that. We should have teamed up against you so you didn't win. That would have worked out better. So as far as like the studios in general, is this your first title or is there more?
This is our first release title.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it's on Steam right now.
It's on Steam Early Access right now. Yeah, we're hoping to go full release kind of soon. It all depends on how stable we can get the online multiplayer.
Gotcha. And the studio is just you and your brother, correct?
Yep, Chad.
How did that even did you guys just like grew up in this world or something a conscious decision, or how did you get there?
Kind of a bit of both. I mean, we grew up playing a lot of video games.
Right. What was your favorite game when you were a kid?
So it's kind of an obscure game, but
go for it.
It's a GameCube game called Gladius.
Okay.
It's kind of a turn-based strategy.
It rings a bell.
It's pretty.
I don't think I've ever played it.
It's pretty buggy. It crashes a lot.
Okay, but that was just your jam when you were a kid.
I really liked that game. I don't know why. Okay. I just really liked it.
That's a lot of people that have that one little game.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's usually what I tell people. Also Warcraft 3, just because I spent so much time making custom maps. I'd say that's also up there. But yeah, we grew up playing a lot of games, and as we got older, I guess we played fewer games, but I always kind of kept making them. And Chad wanted to get into making like video game assets, and so he started making these goofy little dudes, and so I started trying to teach him how to program so that he could make his own game.
Right.
And it got to the point where like, okay, Chad's not going to program. So I was like, all right, you make the assets. I'll put them into a game for you. And so we were doing it web-based at first, and I was like, writing this all in JavaScript is a huge pain. So then we switched to Unity, and this was our previous title, which we stopped working on.
Okay. Well, just for like prosperity's sake, when you're rich and famous from this, what was the previous title?
So it was called Feisty Fist.
Feisty Fist?
Yeah, it was a mobile game.
Not safe for work, maybe.
A mobile Not what you think.
Okay.
So it was a mobile game, and it was kind of like a 2D platformer, like fighter type. And it was fine, but as we worked on it, I read a bunch of books on game design and realized it was kind of like we designed it all wrong because we started with the art and then worked our way back.
Would have been too far. You were too far ahead of yourself to actually rework everything, so we may as well scrap it and move on.
Yeah.
That's a tough decision to make for any developer.
And it was almost done. I mean, maybe we'll release it one day as kind of like a, hey, this was actually our first title,
right?
Kind of thing.
What's the hardest thing about being an indie developer?
Getting paid.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. It's a lot of work, isn't it? I mean, it's a whole lot of work for not necessarily the best outcome. But
yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, and people don't get into this industry for the money, that's for sure.
Not at all. I mean, hopefully you reach that point where like just something clicks with something and it takes it further. But we definitely appreciate all the work that indie developers do. I think that the industry would be far more boring without people making wizard beard competitions, you know, their thing. So I mean, what are you looking for as far as like you're looking for your full release on Steam at some point? Assuming that all goes well, and we hope that it does. What's next steps after that? Going for consoles? Is there any particular one you want first?
So, we've been to a couple PAXs so far, and we kind of went to those in hopes of finding a publisher.
Right.
Publishers don't actually want to touch games that are on early access already because they consider it to be released. Yes.
That's a whole other debate, isn't it? Is early access or fully released game? I think we've had that debate before.
So if publishers say so, then
not a lot you can do about it.
If that's what you're going for, then there's not really a debate because they kind of all agree on that. But some of the ones we've talked to have said like we would be interested in publishing this on consoles.
Okay.
So we would own the PC version of the game, and then they would help us market and distribute.
But you still get some money from that, hopefully.
Yeah. So publishers typically take like 30% of whatever you make on the platforms that they publish on.
If you had a choice of which console you wanted to get it published on first, which would you choose?
Switch.
Straight, well, no hesitation at all.
It's perfect. I mean, you can take it with you anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Although the Nintendo Online is.
So right now we're using something called Photon to do our networking.
Okay.
And I don't know that it actually would. I don't know that it would actually use Nintendo's
affect
servers
it that much. Right.
I also don't know if that's a requirement. Nintendo might require you to use their servers. I don't know.
That's true. Interesting. All right. So, what is your absolute favorite thing about this game?
That's a good question. I guess I would say the spell curving.
The spell curving?
Being able to curve spells, yeah.
That's definitely ramps up the difficulty level.
It does.
I think I used it like a couple times. I realized I was terrible at it, and I was like, I gotta just shoot straight.
And it's completely optional, but it gives.
But if you get good at it,
gives like good players kind of a skill cap to like a ceiling to work towards.
So one of the things that you guys may see with some of the footage is that these spells get progressively more interesting as you go on, and as you pointed out, kind of the worse you're doing, the quicker you get to pick a better spell.
Exactly, yeah.
And the spells start to get like super kind of crazy towards the end.
Yeah.
What is your absolute favorite spell?
Vacuum.
Vacuum?
Yep.
Explain to us what vacuum does.
Okay, so vacuum is it's a utility spell, and if you hit someone with it, it creates a vacuum around them for 5 seconds.
Okay.
And if any projectiles or other wizards, I don't know if we ended up with any of them in the game we just played.
Okay.
But any spells or other wizards that go near them get pulled in. So it basically makes their hitbox enormous, but also can create a cluster of wizards that are all stuck together.
Do you play Overwatch at all?
I do.
It's like Graviton.
It is, except it's continuous.
Oh, it's just forever?
Wait, no, so wait, are you talking about
Zarya's Graviton, where everyone gets sucked in?
It's that, except it's based, it's centered on the player that got hit, so that person can still walk around.
Oh.
But everyone else is just getting pulled into them. Yeah,
so they can kind of just screw everybody over if they feel like it.
It is really similar to that. It's similar to that spell, yeah.
That's
but
dope.
I like it because it combos, it makes a lot of other spells really good.
Right.
So like there's a boomerang spell, the boomerang will get stuck in the vortex and keep hitting that person. The rock golem will keep hitting them.
That's just a huge mess by the end of it.
And then it will get pulled back in, so it's a good comboing spell.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was a lot of fun to play. It definitely one of the more unique setups here as well. I love the fact that you actually like came fully prepared to have like 10 people sit down and play this game. There's a little like seating arena and stuff here. You can see, I guess, some of it on cam here.
Yeah. So this has definitely been like an iterative process. We've been to
a couple cons.
I think like 14 different cons in the past year.
Yeah.
And the setup has slowly evolved into what it is now.
Right. What's been your like favorite moment at a con so far?
My favorite moment. So I met a rep from Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't know that he was a rep from Nintendo. But I knew his name.
Okay.
So because I was gonna try to contact him to get him over here so I could pitch the game to him for the Switch. So we were at PAX East, and I think it was Saturday morning, and we're kind of waiting for the con to start. And a guy comes over to us and starts talking.
Right.
And he's asking about plans to go to console, and I'm like, yeah, at some point we're going to try to get, I was like, oh, we'd love to get on the Switch. And I'm kind of basically talking about how awesome the Switch is.
Right.
And I'm like, at some point I got to get Kirk from Nintendo over here, and I'm going to, so he can see the game in action. and he hands me his business card. And he goes, that just happened. And I'm like,
that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
that's so good.
It was memorable, at least.
So yeah, that's awesome, dude. I mean, we had a lot of fun. I think. I mean, these guys are behind the camera, but yeah, they really enjoyed it. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's a really great game. So Mage Quit is the game. It is now early access on Steam. Hopefully coming to Nintendo Switch at some point here soon as well. Kurt, get on it. And yeah, is there any you want to throw out any websites or Twitters or whatever that people can go check the game at?
Yeah. So we have a Twitter. I would say don't bother following us on Facebook because Facebook doesn't show any posts really to anybody. But yeah, so follow our Twitter. We have a Discord for our online multiplayer. Usually the link is above the TV, but the banner fell down. So if you can find it, join our Discord.
Okay.
And then we have a website, bowlcutstudios.com.
Bowlcutstudios.com.
Yep.
You have a special guest show.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, we're going to have to show that later. Kratos just came to say hi. Yeah, so bowlcutstudios.com is the studio. Mage Quit is the game. Brett and Chad are the guys. Thank you so much for joining us, man. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you, and best of luck with the game.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
No game, but they saying welcome to the second level.